and temporary housing to Gaza. Benjamin Wright with the latest.
Israel denies the accusations and has threatened to withdraw from the ceasefire if Hamas does not release more hostages as scheduled.
In Chicago, former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan has been convicted on multiple charges, including conspiracy, bribery, and wire fraud in a high-profile corruption trial. The Department of Government Efficiency, led by Trump ally Elon Musk, is shutting down hundreds of American aid programs abroad without sufficient documentation or justification. Jessica Oakley reports.
Now stranded in Washington, these staffers lack housing and agency payments.
The U.S. Coast Guard has released a suspected audio recording of the Titan submersible's final moments before its implosion during a deep-sea expedition.
The release of this recording provides new insights into the tragic incident.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statements of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Independent. Can I get a cup of coffee in here, please?
No. No coffee for you. How does it get fucking high?
Damn good coffee and hot.
Nah.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Yeah.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
I wonder if it goes bo.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
I think we've gone over this. You make me laugh. Wait, hold on. Happy Lupercalia. Are you celebrating your Lupercalia? Oh, do that one more time. I will do the clap. Look, it's not starting over. Look at that. How about that? The loop thing, or the lack of loop thing, de-looped itself. Good morning, folks. It is Valentine's Day, February 14th. 2025, also known in these parts of North America as Jackie the Joke Man Martling Day. Today's Jackie's birthday. I believe he's 77 today. 77 WABC. And he's on WABC, well, not as we speak, but in about an hour or so. He's going to be on WABC AM in New York. Used to be, it's the station I grew up listening to, AM Gold, 77 AM Gold, WABC, Harry Harrison, Cousin Brucey, and a bunch of your favorite DJs who are part of Radio Hall of Fame history and all that kind of stuff. So, you know what? If you are on Jackie's friends list or if you follow him anywhere on social media today, wish him a happy birthday. And try to be as homophobic as you possibly can in your birthday greetings. He likes that. He enjoys that. This renaming has gotten a little bit out of control. There's a movement now. I'm not kidding about this. There's a movement to rename the Long Island Sound to the Sound of Connecticut. The Sound of Connecticut is a bunch of Karens whining about, I don't know, Neiman Marcus. Oh, I shouldn't say that. That's just cutting off another potential sponsor, isn't it? Connecticut's really, when it comes to love of money, Connecticut is the state. You won't find a whiter more upper middle class ghetto than Connecticut. The entire state is an upper middle class ghetto. Upper middle class ghetto. Anyway, rich people want to get rich, and people just love money and just live for money. Sorry, Connecticut, I have just dissed you completely. But Long Island Sound will remain the Long Island Sound. If not, I'm going to call it the sound of Mexico, or maybe the sound of Canada. How about that? You're not taking the sound of Connecticut. You're not going to do that. The water right around here, somewhere down below, 490 feet, 95 feet below the studio right now is the Long Island Sound. It will remain the Long Island Sound. By the way, Jackie's birthday today. He is right on top of the sound, too. Jackie and I are almost neighbors. We both live on the same body of water, 100 miles apart. You don't care. I was just listening to a sermon by a guy who called out the phony Christians in America and the MAGA movement, and then he died. He said, it's all lies. They're not real Christians. They're corrupting Christ's teachings and all this stuff. And then he dropped dead, which is what happens when you tell the truth. So I'm going to try to tell the truth, and hopefully I will drop dead here today. I'm going to do my best to tell you the truth every moment I can. You know, there were people are complaining, people who know me and still are follow me on social media for some reason, are complaining that I got political again. There was a point in time right from about somewhere around the first or second year of Trump's first term where I just refused to write anything political on social media, on Facebook and Twitter and all that stuff. But then when he won again, I said, fuck that. I'm going back to just, I can't be silent. And so maybe if I just scream the truth that all these phony-ass Christians are not living according to what they believe in, maybe I'll be struck down dead too. That would be a good thing, wouldn't it? Happy Valentine's Day. I got a show tonight. If you're coming to see me sing love songs tonight, I don't know what to say about you. I really don't. I mean, anyway, so we have an author today who's got a book called Whipped. It's about coffee and seduction. By the way, I'm getting back in the coffee business. You don't know this. Starting, I think, probably next week or so. Not that it's going to be Mind Dog Coffee again. Listen, I'm not going down that road. I'm not being the proprietor of a coffee fulfillment company. But we have Good Brew coming on board. Good Brew is a probiotic, however you say that word. Probiotic coffee. In other words, it cleans your colon out really good. And then you don't even need, like, I don't know, granola. What? I don't know what kind of fiber you're supposed to shit out after a good coffee. Loving the look. Mind Dog. What look? What look? What look? I got a look? This look? Anyway, thank you. Yeah. Oh, that's not Ian. It's Elton. It's not Elton. It's Chrissy. Chrissy. I'm sorry, Chrissy. I didn't. The Elton thing. Eli, Ian. All of it just is confusing to old people like me. Anyway, thanks for being here. She likes the sweater. I'm very collegiate today. Anyway, I got to just run to a quick sponsor piece here today. Today we are brought to you by CapCut, which Ron uses CapCut to cut up all his lingerie videos. If you see a head in the toilet, that was probably done with CapCut, I think, or whatever. When you see Ron's best work, his little promos for his Fratelli's or Minucci's or whatever he's doing, he's at Fratelli's tonight. He's creating it with CapCut. Now, CapCut is it's like a Adobe Premiere, a Final Cut Pro, a DaVinci Resolve for doofuses who don't really know how to use real software. And if you're a doofus who doesn't know how to use real software, get it. You can try it out for free. Use that scan that little thing in there. The link is in the description. And that's all I'm going to say about CapCut. You can be like Ron, and then you will wear lingerie. We haven't heard Ron talk about lingerie, but today's the day for it. Anyway, let me play a little Mind Bloom thing because why not? And then we'll meet the fellas.
Mind Bloom is helping people achieve life-changing clinical and personal breakthroughs, alchemizing both the psychedelic medication, psychiatric care from psychiatric clinicians, coaches, we call psychedelic guides, and a lot of content and meditations and programs into this really transformational experience that, because it's delivered at home, costs a lot less and is a lot more convenient for people to receive.
You gotta wear those glasses so you don't freak out. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me now are Ron the Valentine Man Kane, Stephen the I Love Candy Ortiz, and GD, I ran away. I'm mad yesterday because I had hair problems and I had a big hair day. Fenderson, good morning.
Good.
He's doing it again.
No, that's all I wrote because I figured I was going to be interrupted, so I figured why fucking finish. So that's all I wrote.
Well, that was.
It's Valentine's Day. You're supposed to be sweet today.
You could have finished the word morning. You could have finished the word morning and then quit then. But
I figured I'd be interrupted by then, so that's as much as I wrote.
Wow.
So
I'd like to officially apologize to you for interrupting you yesterday. I will get you candy and flowers.
Look, I'm a diabetic, so what you supposed to do? Get me candy. See, you fucking want to kill me.
I'll just send you a bag of sugar and a needle.
No, thank you.
Pump the sugar and don't even add liquid to it.
It's free base of sugar, man. Don't even eat the candy. Just go straight for
cane
it.
Sugar. Yeah, that would be
before my wife left. She says, "What are you going to do being single for 2 weeks?"
So wait, your wife went away on vacation for 3 weeks?
Well, it's not quite 3 weeks. She's coming back on the 23rd.
Wow, we could have a good time together, partying. We could. My wife is going to. We'll see. You know, I got invited to go, but I'm not going to go because she's going to her sister's house in Florida for next week. And I thought I might want to do that. I definitely want to go to Florida, but not with my wife. I want to go for the sunshine. I just want to go for the sunshine. It's not like I'm going to party to
Matt's first stop, 15 minutes in Florida, would be a nudist colony. 100%.
No way. No.
Nudist colony is not as fun as they sound. Okay.
No, it's only because the people that go there are the people you don't want to see naked. I know that.
It depends on what part of the country you're in. Okay.
It's Florida, bro. Think about it.
I was in California, and it was like beach bodies galore. It's like, I want you to see this. You know, there's a cheap trick song that says, "I want you to want me." That's what they were doing out there on that beach. It's like, I want you to want me.
The thing is, in Florida, is the people that want you to see them naked usually are just almost naked anyway. The ones that you don't want to see naked, the ones that people are like, ew, cover up, those are the ones that go to the nudist colonies in Florida. It's mostly
that's just a cop out, though. It's just a cop out. That's the cop out people use. Like, oh, it's going to be people that I don't that I don't want to see naked. Well, of course. I mean, it's a numbers game. There's going to be some that you don't want to see, and there's going to be others. So stop being a pussy and get your fucking cock out.
No.
Okay, first of all, the only reason I'm being a pussy about the nudist colony is I sit at cock level, sir. While you guys get to make eye contact with each other, I get to make eyeball contact with each other, and it's not fun for me. Okay, so if the numbers game for you, yeah, it's numbers game for you, it's trauma for me.
I wonder if that's a new measure we could use instead of sea level, cock level. So I'm like 3 feet above cock level, right?
Yeah, see, I'm right at cock level, so.
I used to be very exhibitionist when I was young and I had a good body. I wouldn't mind going walking naked. It's not that I'm worried about what I'm going to see. I don't want other people taking one look at my naked body and puking. That's
kind of where I'm at. I'm fully comfortable with my body, but I don't want anyone else to have to suffer. My poor wife has to deal with it enough.
But see, I don't buy that, because if there are people. There are people that you would say, well, they shouldn't be naked in front of people, and they have like no problem with it, and they're very confident about it.
I'm jealous of those people.
I shouldn't be.
I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at those people. I'm jealous of them. Good for you. Like, great.
Well, no, I'm not saying it's being mad at them. It's just I think that's when people talk about nudists and things like that, they just always use that as a cop out. Like,
I know.
I can't be around these gay guys because I just might start sucking their dick. It's kind of like that.
I don't have that problem.
I became self-conscious of my body once I got the surgery scars. Once I got the surgery scars, I just didn't want to be seen in public.
I've had them since birth, so I didn't fucking care.
Especially since, and the thing that really cemented it was I was in the gym, playing basketball. We're just finished playing basketball. I had just taken my shirt off, and this one guy saw my stomach and chest. He goes, "Oh, Jesus Christ, put that shirt back on." And and it bothered me before, and that was like the first time I'd probably taken my shirt off in front of other people, without thinking, just did it. And then the reaction was so harsh.
It's mildly concerning that what didn't keep you from being naked all the time was that you were a man of the cloth for a while. I figured that would have kept your clothes on.
No, because nudity is not a bad thing.
Oh, depends on, to try the independent fundamental Southern Baptist churches.
When I started becoming less of an exhibitionist was when I started to trip over my balls.
I had that same problem at like 15.
Right. Well, so they hang kind of low now. So it's very weird look, and I got shy, I guess, as I got old, but I got a reason for being shy. I'm sagging.
I've been cursed with old man balls since I hit puberty. So I understand. I can't wear like regular shorts. I have to wear
most of that time they were mine. My balls you were cursed with, but that's sorry.
Basically,
I apologize.
I'm 30 years old, but I have the testicles of a 70-year-old man. It's horrible.
In your mouth.
Now, have you ever like been using your wheelchair and you accidentally roll over them with you? No, just
no. But one time I got in my chair naked, and that little bag that's on my seat. My balls hit the zipper of that bag, and I was like,
Did it get caught? Did it get caught?
It caught enough for me to notice, and I was like, oh no, ow, nope. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, Matt, loving the Cosby look today. I love it. Don't offer to make us any drinks. What do you mean?
I don't know. If you love the Cosby look, you'll really love the Cosby drink.
Yeah. I didn't spike your coffee. I just stuck my balls in your mouth without asking, but that doesn't mean I'm like Bill Cosby. I don't know. I'm sorry.
We are gay for consent on this show.
This show. We call it a show. I call it what do I call it?
Circle jerk.
Valentine's Day. You know the origins. Why are we here? Why are we celebrating this?
Because the corporations wanted to sell more cards and more candy, and they wanted to turn all the kids gay by putting estrogen in the chocolates and giving it out at schools.
Kids look like retards.
Wow. See, I do a pretty good Alex Jones. That's pretty close.
I know you do. It's been a while, but
because you feel it here.
I do.
You feel it here, and it comes out here.
Well, actually, I feel it more like in like my stomach, like where I puke and shit, and then it comes out here. That's the Alex Jones. Yeah.
Truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
Oh, I can't.
All of it, you know it.
See, that was like a Memorex moment. Now Memorex
slappity
anymore. I don't know if you remember. Is it live or is it Memorex? Was kind of
Ella Fitzgerald.
Yeah, they probably don't have that anymore. People don't even buy.
Well, of course, you don't have Ella Fitzgerald anymore. She's dead.
Is it live or is it MP3 or something? According to the Google machine, there are 3 different versions of the origin of Valentine's Day. One of them has to do with the Roman festival that Lupercalia. Another one is the Christian martyrs thing. And the last one is people just started writing letters in the middle of winter during the Dark Ages, love letters.
I mean, that one kind of makes sense. Think about it. It's the Dark Ages. You can't travel because it's cold. You're horny. So you send a really nice letter.
You can't travel. Why write the letter? Who's going to get it?
Right. Who's going to deliver it?
Because the Postal Service travels rain or shine, snow or anything, man. It's been like that since forever.
No, there was no Postal Service in the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, first of all.
Well, then how are they writing letters to each other?
By charcoal and candle or whatever, and they were just like throwing them. Basically, you
put it in a bottle, and then which hadn't been invented yet. So they're saving all this paper for the invention of the bottle, and then they put them in the bottle and they throw it in the water, and then they invented the cork, and the bottle stopped sinking, and then they do it again, and
that tracks.
So none of you guys have ever written me a love letter, and I'm hurt by that. You should write how much you love me.
Oh, that kind of love letter.
Oh, yeah.
It's like,
you must be the Monopoly guy.
I'm not sure that qualifies as love.
Thanks.
Sounds more like a put down in some way. Anyway, Pastor, I can't remember the guy's name. I should look up his name because I was just looking at him. But he's gets on there. He's talking about all these phony Christians. People not living by the word of Christ, well, actually against Christ. I can't believe all the lies people are telling from the pulpit, and people are eating it. And then he died.
Maybe he knew he was dying before he had to get that off his chest.
Yeah, I agree. He was getting worked up, and you could see he looked like me in the morning. Like, he was about to call somebody's mother a skank. Skank whore.
You sure it wasn't suicide?
No, but I kind of admire. This is what I want to do. I want to scream at people.
I'm coming for you.
Not quite like that, but that's sort of like that. And then just drop dead. Can we work that out? Can somebody arrange for that? No,
maybe.
Welcome to Minucci's.
That won't do it. So anyway, yeah. So today we have an author, Kenneth Cruz. He's got this book, Whipped. It's about coffee, but I believe it's I guess Stephen's kind of onto something because it seems like Whipped is a Spanish fly coffee or something, like a Cosby coffee. Like we'll find out when he gets here. But I don't have the book doesn't seem to be out yet, so I don't have a picture of the book. Even though
wonder what its roots are.
Half of it. Huh? It's got horny goat weed. Horny goat weed in the
that's unfortunate.
Right. So if you're trying to seduce a goat, I guess.
So it's from Afghanistan.
So
yeah, I mean, if you're in the bestiality, do you get your pet a Valentine's today?
Yeah. PetSmarts has them.
I'm really contemplating what that entails. I don't think people who are into bestiality. Well, and maybe I'm wrong. I think they don't fuck pets though. I think they fuck like alligators in Florida. They fuck alligators. In some parts of Kentucky, I think it's sheep, or what else do they have there?
Cousins.
Yeah.
It used to be popular, because the city of York has a fair every year, and years ago there was always someone getting caught fucking a sheep, like every year. But now it doesn't happen anymore.
It was clearly an epidemic across the country at one point because almost every city has some law against it, and usually you don't have to make a law against something unless there's a problem with people doing it a lot. You know?
Yeah, I don't think it started. To be fair, and be as fair as possible, I don't think it started on this continent.
No,
I think it started on over there, and they brought it here.
Europe and Africa.
Over there. So yeah. Anyway, what do you guys? We're going to be renaming everything from now on, right? We're going to they want to rename the Long Island Sound. We've just started to go down the renaming thing. We got any?
I just hope that piece of shit South Dakota gets a new name.
Yeah, they should kind of think about that. South and North, and they're side by side. East and West.
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Also, Kansas City they need to fix their borders a little bit because the fact that it shares two states is also greedy.
Well, There's two Kansas Cities, right? They're two different cities. Don't they have two different mayors?
I think
Kansas
so.
City, and Kansas City and Kansas City. But yeah, well, like Jersey City. No, Jersey City's in Jersey, right? I'm just trying to think because it's just supposed to indicate that it's close, like you're getting there. You're almost. I think that's what Kansas City, Missouri was supposed to be like. Kansas is right here. We're gonna name this Kansas City because there's Kansas right there after you get. I don't know.
I think it just shows the type of people we had out there. They're just lazy. Like,
okay, if you want to talk about laziness, New Mexico.
Yeah,
well, that's kind of true though. That's
New York.
Yeah, well, it was New Amsterdam before
New
that,
Hampshire. Right? Where's the old Hampshire?
There is a Hampshire on the other over there.
Right next to York, right? And next to okay, is there an old Jersey?
New Jersey. I don't know if there's an old Jersey. There's an old sweater, but that's a good one.
I've even heard of an old jacket, but
oh, and I do have the racist Karen.
The what?
Oh, let's hear it.
Remember we teased yesterday the Karen video?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
Where is
it? This I'm not sure how old this is, but this is something that just happened to pop up in my feed out of nowhere.
I don't see no Karen.
Fuck you, nigger! Stupid nigger, bitch! Are you fucking dumb? Like, whatever. Wipe me, bitch!
It gets better.
Fucking nigger!
Oh my god, man. Nah, yo, she's back from 6 donuts, man. Yo, someone just can just knock this shit out. No, she needs to get knocked out.
Hey, what are you doing? We're doing what you're doing. Yo, this bitch crazy. Bitch. Oh.
That's scary as fuck. Come on.
That's a long reel for
She is lucky that nobody got pissed and beat the fuck out of her. Because man, wow.
Yeah, just to fucking run up to people and start hitting them on top of that and not get clocked at all.
The fact that she didn't get knocked out once is I mean, she got punched once, yes, but the fact that nobody just put her on her ass is wild.
I think she's destined to do more damage to herself than anybody could ever do to her.
Oh, for sure. But it's just like you just look at the. I could really go for a pudding pop right now.
Did she break her own phone?
Yeah, she threw it.
That's like a Goodfellas thing where they spit on their own floor. I never understood that. They spit on their own floor. When the feds came to serve a warrant, all these mob wives would spit on their own floor. Like, what the hell? What the hell's that? You're breaking your own phone. And then she's like, "Where's my phone? Where's my phone? You broke it, you dumb bitch."
I can think of neighborhoods in my own state where if she would have started doing that, she would have gotten shot. Like, she would have been done. I don't know where she was, but man, those are some
malevolent blacks. No.
Malevolent black. No. Just people in general. Just all the people in general, because everybody there was just kind of just letting her do her thing until she started hitting people. And even then, people were just like, bitch, go away. You know, like anywhere else, I feel like she just would have been done. Oh, man, that's rough.
Just FYI, and from Bakersfield, California, it says Happy Valentine's Day, gentlemen.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day to you, ma'am. And also, I'd be careful using that word. I don't know how well that applies here.
I know that's why I double checked to make sure she wrote gentleman, but she did.
What does Scott say? They're all in England. What's all in England?
All the cities we were talking about.
Hampshire, York, Jersey.
All right.
I wonder if that guy's or if that woman's boyfriend shows her that video every Valentine's Day.
You know what I would
she
do
was
is
being taped from like a window or something, right? Like she was going over to the cameraman and just yelling directly.
It's It looks like it's multiple because it was an incident and someone put everything together because there's guys in the store that were getting attacked and there's people on the street.
If I dated her, what I would do is every time she asked me to do something around the house, I would be like, "Do you want this to go viral again? You fucking do the dishes."
We need to. Well, there is a need for. I don't know.
I think I was dating her. I think that's why she was so mad.
You drove her into a racist rage.
I think she was mad at me.
You know what happened was you made her sit in the car while you got your hair did, and she was in there for 7 hours. And she was like, "This N-word," and just went nuts.
You know what? On that note, I would like to say your hair looks fabulous.
It needs work.
It does look very nice.
It looks pretty much the same as it did yesterday morning.
It needs work. I need to call James, have him do my hair.
Oh, I thought that's where you were going yesterday.
Maybe she plays that video on a nude beach every day. You don't know.
Your kids look like retards.
She lays on the beach, face down, ass up. She has that video playing, so any black guy going by gets mad and just anger fucks her.
But my thought is, as an entrepreneur,
Pornhub. Entrepreneur.
There is a need for there is a need presented here. Do you know what the need is?
What's that?
We need an app that can search the web to find out if I am, or each individual, you can search to find out if you're in some kind of viral retarded video where you did something stupid and people were taping you and without your knowledge. I'm certain there's somebody made a TikTok video out of me doing something stupid and I don't even know.
You can kind of find stuff like that on Snapchat because it has the heat map, which shows you where there's a lot of snaps happening at one time. Sometimes you'll find some really crazy shit on there.
So basically, you're on Snapchat, what, to meet otters and bears, or bears and otters?
No, I have a couple. I have a couple family members that have Snapchat only.
I definitely. Is it a social network or is it just kind of like
it's a social network thing? I for a while, for like 6 months, I paid $1.99 a month. And it gives you a public profile and everything, and then all your posts are featured. And then I was able to use that to drive traffic to TikTok, which was nice.
I don't know.
It's very much for people just trying to fuck around. The disappearing messages and everything. Yeah, it's still that.
Probably my accent and your accent are throwing foul mouth teacher off. He says, "What's Snapchat? Snapchat. Cash App. What the fuck is that all about? Because
it's just a way to. It's like Venmo and PayPal. It's like Venmo and PayPal.
Is that what it is? Why do you, I used to see these? I don't see them anymore. But on Instagram, send me $50 and I'll turn it into $500. Give me a Cash App.
Oh, it's just a scam. That's all it is.
Yeah, I know it's a scam, but it seemed like that's what the app was for. It was just a complete scam thing.
No,
now
it's the same exact scam.
Town people want me on. Not Paint the Town. I'm sorry. Paint the Town. I apologize. Not you. The other company that I work for, doing stuff like that, events. They want me on Cash App, and I'm like, no, I don't want to get on Cash App. That means I'm going to get.
I like Cash App. Cash App is nice because it's probably one of the more seamless ways to send money to people. And
what about the safest way? Fuck seamless. I will take 2 extra steps if it's safe. You know, but
it's about as I've had my PayPal hacked twice. I've never had my Cash App hacked ever.
How do you get PayPal hacked?
Or Venmo? Venmo worked very well.
And I have all of the above. I like Cash App because Cash App and PayPal both have a debit card that I use because if there's money in it, I can just use it directly without having to send it to my bank account. But yeah, it was just Cash App just got popular because it was easy.
Don't you have PayPal fraud protection now? That's like part of.
I do now. Yeah.
I mean, everybody does. It's
But
part
you
of the
shouldn't
basic
have to
thing.
have fraud protection. They should take the money they're making off of you and secure their sites better.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, be that way.
I mean,
but yeah, Cash App. The other reason Cash App is popular, this reason right here, people beg for it. Cash App doesn't require you to know the person. So, for example, on PayPal, if you try to send money to a complete stranger, it'll try to verify if you know the person, blah blah blah.
Right,
Or
ask
you
for a
can send
phone
it
number or
business.
something.
Yeah, Cash App doesn't do that. As long as you have their Cash App username, you can send them money, no questions asked.
I don't trust any of it. Well, no, I trust PayPal, but I've been on PayPal since PayPal. You know, I shouldn't patronize PayPal because it's the devil. That's Peter Thiel, and Elon Musk was one of the founders of that company. It's the devil. It's a Satan.
Like I said, I use all the above, but I like Cash App and Venmo the most.
Yeah,
They seem to have at least some out of trouble.
I
Apple
like brown
Pay
bags
is
of
nice
cash.
too.
Apple Pay is nice too.
I like brown bags of cash. Just slip it to me right there.
I would like that too. Brown bags of cash is definitely something I would be quick to
Give me a
join.
nice manila envelope with $100 bills. I'm cool.
Brownbagsofcash.com. Brownbagsofcash.com.
It definitely sounds like the name of a porno, or at least a porn
It does.
star.
Well, I bet brownbags.com is already gone.
I'm checking right now.
I like omelets better than sex.
Ooh, Zelle is a good one too. Zelle is nice because that one's built into my bank app, so it's backed by it's backed and secured, which is nice. But here's the thing, though.
Chase told me not to get involved. Chase the bank, JP Morgan Chase told me not to get involved with Zelle. They are notorious for scams and hacking people's direct bank accounts.
Well, Zelle, the only thing with Zelle is just like PayPal and everything else, is if you send a payment to somebody and they weren't supposed to get it, 10 to 1, they can't help you get it back. So there's really no advantage to using it, in my opinion.
Yeah, Venmo's kind of the same way. You just gotta make sure you know who you're sending your shit to.
Yeah. Well, now tuned into banking in the morning, or Cash Apps in the morning, or whatever.
I just looked up brown bags of cash, and apparently it didn't go anywhere when I tried to go there. It's like this site is not available.
Hey, better get it.
The server is down for the moment because the webmaster is out blowing handicap guys.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, he's not here.
All right, I got a joke for you. What do you call a guy with no arms, no legs, and a 16-inch cock?
Lucky.
Partially handicapped.
That's good. I wish I had that problem.
Hey, Steven, are you still going to have disability benefits here in the future?
Dude, listen, I'm still trying to get my Medicaid back. I don't know what's happening because right now, I got everything turned in, and then I was told directly by Medicaid, unfortunately, due to current political issues, we are short-staffed, so processing is taking longer than usual. So we'll let you know. You'll get a letter when things are processed and if you're approved. I've been fighting this since mid-December.
Ron's governor, what's his name, Shapiro, he's also experiencing trouble with getting his state people. Apparently, Trump's freeze on the funds, and then the court ordered him to unfreeze it. He's still not paying it, and the states aren't getting it. So Shapiro has filed a lawsuit against the Trump administration for holding up things like Medicaid and unemployment and Social Security checks and all that kind of stuff.
Fuck the fact that they're holding money. They're taking money back out of bank accounts.
Oh, dude. So
they did it in New York. They took $80 million out of New York's account, and that was money that was already spent. So they got they had an overdraft of $79.5 million, and Citibank charged them $15,000 overdraft fee.
No,
the government
it was just $35.
The government decided also that I should be put on Medicare and Medicaid. against they didn't request me, they didn't ask me for it or nothing. They just did it, and now they're charging me $175 out of my Social Security check to pay for Medicare, and I can't get off of it. So yeah, so they're just literally raping me left and right.
Left and right. Damn,
not a drop of lube when you
that's
get
almost like
raped.
an Eiffel Tower. Is that no?
No, because
Eiffel Tower's not left and right. Eiffel Tower's front and back.
No, well, they took that, and then when they took my Medicaid, my wife is my caregiver. She was getting paid to do that. That was a main source of our income, and they took that too. So
wow,
yeah,
wow.
So we're on the verge of losing our car. My wife got me flight controls for my birthday. She had to send those back because it was either that or fucking paying utility bills. Like everything's gone to shit.
So you got to get on this selling Curiosity Box pretty heavy. Sorry, I didn't mean to make light of that.
That's why do you think I'm hoping you can tell I'm pretty invested in Beyond Classified. I'm trying to get this going. I'm trying to secure guests. I'm trying to, I want this to grow, and so.
Oh, good. It's you're not like some slacker, like some guy like who might like have a church program who doesn't do anything to really promote it or whatever. I mean, it's not like you're one of those guys.
Hey, you know what? Real quick, shout out to Curiosity Box, the sponsor of Beyond Classified with Stephen Ortiz. They are your source for a quarterly science box full of awesome just experiments and curiosities like you wouldn't believe. It's so cool. You pay for it for the year. You get quarterly boxes. It's awesome. I've had one buddy already. I have one buddy who's getting ready to subscribe to it when he gets his tax money. He's excited for it. Go check it out. It's awesome.
Wow. That's really it's a sad thing when people have to wait for their tax refund to do a $20 purchase or whatever. Let me see if I put this in the regular chat room here. Could I do that?
Isn't that also the name of a sex worker?
Yes, it is. I was gonna mention. Thank you for jumping on that. But yes, that's absolutely true. There's a link so you can support Stephen's efforts there with Beyond Classified. Go to minddogtv.com /about/ or you can just use the menu up on the top that says about Beyond about / Beyond -Classified. There's a link to Curiosity Box, and you can help Stephen save his car.
Yeah, there it is.
Save his chair, save his whatever he's saving.
Mostly just to support the show, because I would like to eventually. I'd like to eventually, upgrade my computer, get a better mic.
I just don't want them to repossess your kids. I don't want them to repossess
your priorities
your
are all wrong. You talk about we're losing the car, we're losing, but now you're worried about a mic. The car.
No. My priorities are definitely the car and everything, but we're getting everything covered. My wife is working her ass off. Things are covered, and I'm getting things back where they belong. So
don't get that Willie Titus going.
No. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing is yeah, sure. I have a lot of shit in life going on, but I mean, who doesn't? So I'm not trying to get pity about that.
Right.
Well, hopefully they don't fucking cut Medicaid for you.
Oh, dude. So right now they'll retroactively cover anything 90 days. I've had 2 emergency room visits, and it's already like $6,000.
Yeah, we're gonna,
and that's because the emergency room visits are because they've cut my medical supplies, and I'm having to reuse medical supplies. So, which they don't care.
And once again, where are the fucking people with the backbones? No one. It's like people are quiet with their fist up their ass.
Yeah.
Well,
the supplies I'm reusing are gonna those are what caused me to get the infections, which put me in the hospital, which makes my kidneys go bad. And it's like, yeah, they just don't really give a fuck.
Could somebody break out a violin? Because a very small violin.
No, because again, I'm just complaining. I'm not.
I understand you're just complaining, but I really want to talk about what Ron just said, because I agree with him, but I don't know, short of full scale revolution, what the fuck anybody can do other than, I mean, obviously, the government has been hijacked. Because somebody was saying yesterday, well, the military will stop Trump from doing the worst because I was talking about all this chaos is an excuse to implement martial law. Well, the military will stop them. No, the military is Pete Hegseth, a full-on Nazi, a full-on, ball licker for Trump. And well, maybe the generals will. No, they've all been. It's all too late
the
for
pieces
anybody to hope for guardrails or anything within the system. The only thing that will stop him now is full-on revolution. Unless
all the pieces are set for there to be little to no resistance against Trump. You know, he's got his people in the military. He's got his people in the intelligence community. He's got his people in education. He's got his people. He's got Doge, who's basically a rabid attack dog with no leash, doing whatever the fuck they want. He's basically all the pieces. Now all he has to do is flip the switch, and everyone goes, "Nope, we're cool with it."
We get it. You're right. I agree with you. I'm not sure if Ron does or not, but I want to come back to what Ron said because I agree with him. But the people are talking. But like, what else can they possibly do at this point? I think the time for action was before all this shit went down, before we let him back in office, before we let an insurrectionist take over.
I agree with you too, Matt, and I feel the same way. It's just I agree that what are you really going to do? But the fact that there's like really no voices on the other side, and they're all just so fucking quiet. I mean, like Elizabeth was going on yesterday. It's like, well, that's fine, but who gives a fuck if you're going to write a letter? Or Chuck Schumer gets out there with his readers, like, we're going to do something. It's like, no, we need somebody to be fucking rattling the cage, and no one's at least doing that.
Nobody wants to die for the cause. I would die for the cause, but I'm die pretty quickly. See, this
hey, except for anti-vaxxers.
Oh yeah. But I would definitely die for the cause, but it would be ineffectual because I would die within the first 20 minutes or even 20 seconds without getting any change done. I'm pretty easy to take out at this point.
Yeah, I mean, why? I don't understand. Like, why aren't like governors everywhere, like in every fucking media outlet, from fucking TikTokers to whatever, just out there?
Yeah. I don't get it either. I think most of it, and I should pull up Mike Grief. Mike Grief is a stand-up comedian from L.A. He's been on quite a few television shows. You would recognize him. He's been on this program. He's a friend. And he just doesn't seem to get the idea that the guardrails are gone. And I think a lot of people are not really... They didn't take Project 2025 seriously. Now it's been being implemented step by step, and they just don't take the reality of the situation for what it is. They all have this pie in the sky, well, everything's going to be okay attitude. And it's like, you're not paying attention, dude. Everything is not going to be okay. We are on a very quick, rapid slope into full-on authoritarianism, fascism, and the guardrails have been removed. And so what are you thinking the generals are going to stand? What generals? Miley's fucking sucking piss out of fucking Pete Hegseth.
I mean, right now. I was a little encouraged when during the what is it? The confirmation hearing for Linda McMahon. Yeah. Everybody up there was just asking her, like, why are you backing Trump's plan to shut down the Department of Education? You're going for a job that's going to be eliminated. Why are you doing this? Are you sure you want to back this? Is this something you're going to back and support? Blah 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 blah. But the whole time she's like, yeah. I believe education belongs to control of the states. And I'm just like, oh.
And she's not sure if teaching Black history should be illegal.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, you guys are trying to be vocal, but at the end of the day, you're still probably going to confirm her, aren't you?
Yeah.
Well, not the Democrat. And hopefully, because the Democrats did some stupid shit, and they actually voted to confirm some of the people. They should not give not one of those people should have been given a yes vote. Not one from the Democrats.
Right.
Not one of them. Every last one should have been. There should have been at least 47 no's, and every single last one of them.
Right. What? This is what's so frustrating about it. Like, don't give an inch to this fucking Not just Trump. It's the whole fucking, cabal. But don't give an inch to them. But they gave more than an inch. They're giving miles. And they're just like, well, we have. Why? Because
and they can't take it back.
Yeah.
But
I don't. So it sounds like you guys have been bitten.
It's just amazing. It's like, where are the fucking people with backbones? I don't get it.
Right. And this point has been made so many times, but people often say, how did it happen? How did Nazi Germany happen? If you don't know by now, this is exactly how it happened. It's people just gave an inch. They placated a little. They accepted an inch of it, a little taste of it, and before you know it, we were fucking drunk on fascism.
The biggest part of what led to Nazi Germany was the mindset of, well, let's just write it out and see what happens. And we'll address it when it happens. And then the next thing you know, you have concentration camps with millions of dead people. Like, this is what happens. Like, nobody's paying attention to the history.
Yeah, we forgot.
Yeah, they're concentrating on the camps and not on the solutions before they get to the camps.
Yeah. Now, every time we see one of these videos that are shared on social media of Trump supporters who are having buyer's remorse, there is somebody, and this is what is so fucking tiring, is there somebody coming up and calling it fake news or anything that gets reported, they try to distort, spin, turn backwards, inside out. And then when the truth does come out, they even try to, bastardize the truth and somehow make it seem like, so you're constantly fighting this against people who still believe to this moment that Haitians are eating cats and dogs without any evidence of it. And they'll just anything that he says gets accepted. Like the woman up there holding up the proof of all this stuff that Doge supposedly found. Where's the proof of it? Well, I have these pages. Well, what's different from that and Leslie Stahl bringing a blank book out and saying this is his healthcare plan? Have you looked at those fucking pages? No, all we're just going to do is comment on social media about, see, she has the proof. She's got the receipts. Have you looked at them? What do they say? Turns out that half of them, or some of the stuff that they were finding, were Trump policies that Trump enacted in 2018. Yeah. Oh, you're not going to mention that. No. But it's constantly fighting against this just bullshit machine that just wants to nothing he says is what he really meant to say. You didn't hear him correctly. It was a joke. It wasn't a joke. You just you're too woke and have no sense of humor. It's everything gets spun around and it's just fucking exhausting.
In a live interview, they asked Trump if the tariffs are going to make the prices go up, and he goes, "Well, they'll go up and they'll go down, and they'll stay the same." In a 45-second soundbite, he took 3 positions.
Right.
And then when his economist was asked about it, what the tariffs would do to prices, and he goes, "Well, prices fluctuate." That wasn't the question. The question was what effect are the tariffs are going to have on inflation. He goes, "Well, prices fluctuate. They go up and they go down."
Right.
Jesus fucking Christ. And this is our fucking leader. God damn it. I hate it so much.
He's not my leader. I didn't vote for him.
You know what I'm saying? It's just...
No, I don't know what you're saying.
I didn't vote for him either. He's the elected president that fucking blows, okay?
He's not. He's selected. He was... look, I'm convinced he cheated his way to office. I just can't prove it, and so that's why I don't keep repeating it. But it's one of those things where I can't prove it. In my heart, I know it's true. That's what.
All right. Well, you know what?
Well, I'm on the same boat about aliens, but that doesn't make us right. Can't prove it. But we still have to suffer through the consequences of it happening.
That's a kind of a fair analogy, but not really, because in Donald Trump's history, we have evidence that he has cheated on everything ever. Every contest ever in his entire life. There is even to getting people to take tests for him to get through Wharton Business School and all this stuff. There is evidence of him cheating for every little thing. And then the biggest contest of his life, the contest to not die in prison. There's the one thing we're supposed to believe he didn't cheat at. And yesterday
especially when he has when he has the people who lick his ass and balls as much as they do, yeah. So yeah, But that's why I don't go around. I don't like to repeat things I can't prove.
Yeah.
But yes, in my heart, I know he cheated. I just can't prove it.
Well, at least that's I don't know, somewhat hopeful to me, because I thought I was on this this island alone. This election was fucking stolen in my view. And the most frustrating thing about it is, of course, it's going to be really hard to uncover actual proof of this stuff, but nobody even put in any effort. The Biden administration and the DOJ, Merrick Garland, that fucking weak pussy, did nothing to even attempt to uncover any evidence or proof of it. They just said, "Oh, we have to accept it."
And that's another reason why. That's another reason why we honestly need some constitutional changes. Like, for example, get rid of the electoral college, period, and then the president has to get at least 51% of the vote. He didn't get 51%. He did. He had 49 point something percent, 49 points, but he never hit 50%.
Well,
he got more than Kamala Harris, but he didn't hit the 50% threshold.
Right. I'm not even sure that any of the results were true, because again, I keep coming back. People say anecdotal evidence is not the same as data. It doesn't have the same data weight as. But for me, what I saw with my own two eyes were fucking lines that were miles along for early voting, and now I'm supposed to believe we didn't have voter turnout. I've never seen the kind of lines that we had for this election before in my life.
Even with Obama, we didn't see this. Now I don't know
George Washington, and I was there for that one.
No, you're not alone on that island, Matt. I think at least me and GD are in the same boat of the election was stolen. And I think it goes back to, when you have multiple people of major influence on live or, on recorded video saying, "Oh, I had the results 2 hours before the polls closed."
Right.
How the fuck did you have that if this wasn't rigged? Those two things only happen if the one thing only happens if the other happens.
And I think there's a third solution though. I think there's a guy named Daniel who talks to archangels and praying mantis who also knew the results, and he told them, and that's where they got their information from.
Well, hold on. The praying mantises are the archangels. And two,
that's what people want you to think. That's what they want you to think, but we can't see the archangels.
I had the only person in the universe who can talk to them.
The praying mantis are the spirit animals of the archangels. It's like with dark material. Is that what that world is? Is that what the show's called? His dark material, where everybody has like a spirit animal, and if the spirit animal dies, they die. I could be wrong because I've only seen like 4.5 minutes of that show, and
that was more than enough.
That was more than enough for me to see that.
Well, keep in mind, Daniel's the only person in the universe who can talk to them.
Yeah. The whole praying mantis thing was really confusing because he was trying to explain to Stephen that if Stephen died today, his spirit would look like him, but currently his spirit looks like his last life. So the last life, these archangels were praying mantis. That doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm not a
trip. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what though? It felt very much like I was listening to George Norrie though, and some of his guests. And I was just like, "Oh man, this guy's out there." It felt like it. Yeah, it was nice.
I didn't know Norrie. I knew with the UFO stuff, but I've never heard him like talk about angels.
Oh yeah, I used to listen because I used to sleep with the radio on as a kid, and George Norrie was always on the weekends, and it was just fantastic.
Wow.
And sometimes I'd have to turn it off because it freaked me out because he'd have people on talking about like demons or like shadow people, and I'm like, nope, turning this off.
Demons don't exist. That's what the guy said, right? Demons don't.
They do not. Demons don't exist. There's no evil. Sometimes you're just an asshole.
Right. All right. Well, I'm an asshole a lot. So I will be an asshole tonight at Coach Dioro too. I'm a little nervous about tonight because I'm performing with somebody I'd never met before, Steph Rainey, who is stephmedia.com. She is a singer who is also a social media marketing manager, band promoter, and all this kind of stuff. Never met her before. She's kind of subbing for either Kiera or Kat, who couldn't make the gig tonight. So I'm a little nervous. It's like
meet them. Why are you on the show? Why aren't you out meeting them now?
Because I have to do this stupid stuff.
Why didn't you invite her on?
I'm going to tonight. I'm going to mention it to her. She should come on the program, and but we'll see.
But it'd be late then you would have already met her. I mean, we're talking about you said you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I mean we've had a phone call. We've had a phone call, so we know. I know about her. I mean, but we've never performed together. Is where the nervousness.
You could have performed over the phone call.
No,
or on here.
Yes.
No,
yes. Yes.
One time, in I like 20 or something, I got a phone call from a guy who had found me on. There used to be this national gig service where you can go, and that's how I hooked up with Rick Derringer. Basically,
oh my God! You hooked up with Rick Derringer?
Yeah.
You slut.
Backwards. But you get these phone calls for auditions, and all of a sudden you'd have to like drive halfway across the country for an audition. This guy called me up, and he wanted to audition over the phone, and I was like, "No." He was a singer, and he was like halfway across the country. He said, and then he started singing on the phone. "What Becomes of the Brokenhearted," and I was like fucking blown away. Like no music and nothing, just a cappella, and the guy just fucking blew me away with his phone rendition of "What Becomes of the Brokenhearted." And we ended up putting a band together for a short time, but singing over the phone. You wouldn't expect it to work, but
you ever auditioned for a band, get the audition, and realize after they hired you that I really don't want to play for this band?
Yeah, I drove all the way to Clifton Forge, Virginia, 10-hour drive to go play a weekend gig with. It was 3 days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I knew by Friday morning I did not want to be there. This was a fucking mistake. So yeah, it happens. Shit happens.
Yes, I almost called you yesterday, Matt, because whenever I learn something that I find interesting in music, I want to either call you or my real friend Phil, and I called my real friend Phil.
And what did you learn that you wanted to call Bill about?
Phil Collins, Genesis, the song that he has. What's it called? Is it No Reply? What is it?
He's got ass cancer of the mouth.
Oh, Phil Collins.
Oh,
I can't remember.
I
can't remember the name of the song now, but he had Earth, Wind, and Fire playing horns for him on that song.
Right.
And I didn't know that it was a song I just didn't like.
Susu Studio?
No. It's like I can't remember now. I'll Google it. But so
he did that duet with Philip Bailey. That should have made sense. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's true. Let's see, but Phil Collins, not In the Air Tonight. That's stupid. No. Not No Reply at all. Maybe see Phil Collins and Earth, Wind, and Fire. And Earth, Wind.
Blood, Sweat, and Earth. Blood, Sweat, and Fire. Earth, Sweat, and Tears. No. Earth.
Ron, you're muted.
I was going to say, welcome to Music Boomer Corner. That's right.
Crack the Sky Fire. Crack the Fire Sky.
Well,
I do like Beethoven.
So they played the horns on it, and Phil Collins says the first time they got together, it was awful. It was absolutely awful. Now, but I listened to it, and because it's Earth, Wind, and Fire, I still don't like the song, but I like Earth, Wind, and Fire, so I'm like hearing it with new ears, and it's not as bad to me, because before I just didn't like it because it was Phil Collins.
Wow. So you're not a big fan of Phil Collins.
I love him as a drummer. I'm not crazy about him as the frontman for Genesis. It's not that I even dislike what he's doing. It's just that I like the direction that Genesis. I like what Genesis did back when they were 5 members.
Right.
Back when they were 5. Once they became 3, it just sucked for me.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? It's surprising to me the fucking you talk about boomer music stuff. The anger that some of these reels I put out will put out there. I did one on Yes, speaking of classic boomer music, and I made the mistake of calling them, I don't know, one of
Music.
Music. Oh, and I think I called them like one of the initial prog rock bands, and people, King Crimson, and like they get angry, like emotionally angry if you just disagree with them or put something out there that even suggests nobody's making it a competition. Nobody said Yes was better than King Crimson in the real, but people are like 100. Oh, King Crimson are the band. Yes is just water boy for King Crimson or whatever. It's just like all these and Phil Collins stuff has gotten, the Phil Collins reel has gotten over 2 million views, and so many people. Half of the comments are, I wish he would have never sang for Genesis. They should have kept what's his name, Peter Gabriel.
I don't think they could have kept Peter Gabriel.
I don't think they could have either. He was determined to go on his own, right?
Yeah,
you can't just make somebody stay.
Right.
But
it's not like they're Trump supporters and they don't have a choice.
Hey, we should probably play news real quick.
Should we?
Yeah, top of the hour.
I'm gonna go get myself fully engorged and come back.
Yes, do it. Yeah.
And get some chocolates for Valentine's Day celebration.
The Department of Government Efficiency, led by Trump ally Elon Musk, is shutting down hundreds of American aid programs abroad without sufficient documentation or justification. Jessica Oakley reports.
Now stranded in Washington, these staffers lack housing and agency payments. Affidavits filed in support of a lawsuit by government employee associations reveal chaos and confusion at USAID, with senior leadership removed and funding frozen, leading to decisions on program eliminations based on simplistic criteria.
In Chicago, former Illinois House Speaker Michael Madigan has been convicted on multiple charges, including conspiracy, bribery, and wire fraud in a high-profile corruption trial.
The trial featured testimony from more than 60 witnesses and included secretly recorded videos and phone calls. Acting U.S. Attorney Morris Pasquale hailed the conviction as historic, emphasizing the public's right to trust their government. Madigan's longtime confidant Michael McLean was also tried, but the jury deadlocked on all counts against him. Lawrence Keller reporting.
The ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is under strain due to delays in delivering tents and temporary housing to Gaza. Benjamin Wright with the latest.
Israel denies the accusations and has threatened to withdraw from the ceasefire if Hamas does not release more hostages as scheduled. Deliveries have been delayed due to prioritization of food supplies and Israeli inspections, prompting humanitarian aid groups to scramble to meet the targets.
This is the latest news headlines.
That's a little more newsy music. Not anymore, Al, before we
A federal appeals court has upheld singer R. Kelly's convictions and 30-year prison term for charges including racketeering and sex trafficking.
This decision affirms the original verdict, holding Kelly accountable for his actions over decades. The ruling is seen as a significant moment in the Me Too movement, emphasizing accountability for sexual misconduct in the entertainment industry. Jim Kender reported.
The 2025 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees have been announced, featuring artists such as Mariah Carey, Oasis, and Fish. The diverse lineup highlights the broad spectrum of musical influence and achievement considered for this year's induction. Kevin Sanders reports.
Fans and industry professionals will have the opportunity to cast their votes, with the final inductees to be announced later this year. The induction ceremony is scheduled to take place in Cleveland, celebrating the contributions of these artists to the music industry.
The U.S. Coast Guard has released a suspected audio recording of the Titan submersible's final moments before its implosion during a deep-sea expedition.
Actually, we have that recording right here, right now.
God's coming for you!
That's a weird thing to say as your sub is imploding, isn't it? I'm coming for you. A Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. First of all, I didn't know when I don't get a ballot. I didn't know the fans. Is this new that the fans get to vote on this stuff? I never. Have you ever gotten a ballot to vote on the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Where do you get this? How do I
think
vote?
you have to be a member. There's two ways to do it because members get ballots. But also, I think like XM Radio, like on a classic channel, something you can actually vote through XM Radio or something on one of their channels. Yeah.
I did not. Because that's the first time I've ever heard of fans voting for it. Because fans have lots of complaints about people who are not in. Warren
Yeah,
Zevon.
they get to vote,
Rand
but they don't
Patel.
have as much weight as people that already, have are members.
AI calls it number Me Too movement instead of Me Too. Really? Oh, did it say
Yeah,
that?
there
I
was
wasn't listening.
there. You know, there's a story floating around from the New York Times about the Department of Education and that they want to replace contract workers with AI bots. So that way, if you have to call them to talk about a student loan, an AI bot will clearly take care of it.
Oof. Yeah.
And it'll also make weird pictures if you ask it to. hey, since I can't pay for my student loans anymore, can you at least send me a picture of a guy burning in hell being covered by money?
Yeah. So on that note, because I posted a couple of polar bear videos that people have said were AI, and I could see that, but I was like, well, this is really good if AI is doing that, because I know some really talented motion graphics people, After Effects people, motion and all these things, who cannot do that manually, like the polar bear getting eaten by bugs and all this stuff. It was really.
That was clearly
I'm just,
AI.
it was a phenomenal editing job for AI to do it, and I was looking for apps that might be able to do that, and I found one that said cinematic AI video creator will do anything you ask it to do and make it look realistic and as believable to anybody. And I put in, I forget what the prompt I put in, but the first thing it said was, "We can't do that." Wait, you just said you could do anything. And I put in one silly little prompt. I forget. Oh, you know what it was? It was a guy in a wheelchair being chased by UFOs. And they said, we can't do it. We can't.
No Reply at All. That's the name of the song by Phil Collins that I'm not really big on. But then I listened to the horns. He's like, okay. And the horns are a little bit trickier than I would have expected it.
The tune's not coming to me. When you say No Reply, I just my mind goes to the Beatles. No Reply. I'll look it up after. I'll remember it. But yeah, Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's not a big surprise. Phil Collins was working with a lot of those different people from the 80s, 70s, and 80s at the time he went solo. So,
hey, maybe Phil Collins can play the Kennedy Center.
Now,
yeah.
Why do you think Trump cares at all? It's not like he's an arts guy. He doesn't fucking care about
diversity.
culture.
He's trying to Kennedy arts. He hates diversity, and he has no talent of his own. And he's just a fuck up, man.
Now, how do you think Kennedy feels about that? Kennedy, who was confirmed yesterday. Hey,
I think he loves it. Because it wasn't his dad, it was his uncle. Fuck his uncle.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, come on.
But
if
it was the Napo Center and he wanted to shut it down, I'd be like, hey, wait a minute, that's my only thing. 1,000 years from now, people will still remember the Napo Center.
Well, what's great is I read a story yesterday, and talking about RFK and like these things that he wants to do, but the article clearly lays out that the stuff that RFK wants to do, he probably won't be able to do because Trump wants to cut all this shit out,
right?
And it's going to affect that as well.
Yeah, no, RFK, he built his career on environmental protection cases, and then he wants to do. He works for a guy who wants to do away with the Environmental Protection Agency. He wants to do away with all regulations that protect the environment. I can't see how you can sell yourself out that much for this opportunity to stand next to a guy who's never going to let you have his chair. And
the biggest thing about Trump is Trump reminds me of somebody I knew when I was younger, a lot younger. This person was basically a bad seed, just a fuck up. And he loved to destroy stuff. He liked to set fires, but he also liked to get people to do it with him. he wanted accomplices so that he didn't look bad. It's like, see, I'm not the only one setting fires. They like to set fires too. I'm not the only one trying to rape people. They try to rape people too. So his sins and his just his behavior, his sickening behavior, became normalized to him because he could get other people to do the same thing or worse, and so he didn't look so bad in his own eyes.
Has 1 second to be on time. Nope, he's late. If
you were in that, if you were playing the Kennedy Center, you say you already had that locked up, would you cancel the gig like some of these other artists have done?
I
didn't know anybody was canceling. I didn't even.
Quite a few canceled.
But
I think mostly black people. I'm not sure. I think mostly black people have canceled.
Yeah, I'm gonna say her name. Yeah, well, her name is Issa Rae.
Yeah.
Ben Folds and Shonda Rhimes.
Yeah.
Have all backed out of their gigs that they had there.
Wow.
Yeah, I would back out, even though that would be the one and only chance I'd ever have to perform there. I would back out.
Well, why back out? Why not walk out face forward? Why back out?
Because I want to keep watching Shonda Rhimes as I walk away.
Oh, because you gotta have put something over your ass because protect your ass at all times. That's all.
And and these people that quit the positions too. I mean, I sort of get it, but at the same time, wouldn't you rather just stick around to be a pain in their ass?
Yeah.
Just rub.
Well, it depends. See, some of them, like what's her name? Danielle Sassoon. She resigned. Actually, she wrote in her letter. She gave them an option to her retirement, her resignation letter. Well, actually, it wasn't a resignation letter. It was like an 8-page. To pay Pam Bondi, letting her know what the fuck is going on, and actually using Pam Bondi's own words against her, and saying, you said there would not be politicization, and this is, against the codes of ethic. This is against this. This is against that. And if you don't want to stand up for this, then I will resign. And Pam Bondi goes, okay, I accept your resignation. Right. Because of her position, she's not allowed to disobey an order, so to speak. So when Bove says to her, you must drop charges, her choices are drop charges or resign.
Right. Now, I saw a headline that said there were mass resignations over this, the Eric Adams thing.
6 people so far. Well, 6 as of 11 o'clock last night. Well, it depends on the positions. Like 2 of them were the only 2 in their position. Right. So if you got 2 officials and in that position and both of them resign, that's kind of mass.
But weren't they going to get this thing that confused me? Weren't they going to get laid off? Well, haven't they already been given a resign or a buyout offer?
No, not them. No, they weren't. They weren't part of the buyout offer thing. The buyout thing was to like federal workers in departments and stuff like that. And the weirdest thing is, not the weirdest, but one thing is 5% of the government workforce resigns at the end of the year anyway, retires or whatever, 5%. They don't even have 5% taking this offer. So they're not getting anything. They're not gaining anything.
Yeah.
And then they're still going to have to pay people to not work. How fucking efficient is that?
I would like to get paid to not work. Where do I sign up for that?
All the court costs they're going to have to pay. They're going to have to pay court costs. Well, not them, because it's our money. It's the Attorney General stuff. They're using our tax money, which they're talking about trying to use efficiently to defend these executive orders, most of which are, even whether they're right or wrong, but whether they're right or wrong, they're spending a lot of our money, wasting a lot of our money doing this. They're not efficient. They're just a bunch of ideologue fucking assholes. Ooh. I did that for like 2 hours on a bus trip with a bunch of 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds because I was a chaperone.
For people on the radio who don't know what GD is referring to, I just kept taking my dick out, and he's saying that he did this for a bunch of 5-year-olds. Go ahead.
And I pulled a bunch of coins out of their ears, for hours.
You took your dick out and then stuck coins in their ears?
You gotta pay for it.
Oh my God. Breaking news. We didn't even talk about this. Kanye West wife is divorcing him. Dun dun dun.
Wow.
Probably because he doesn't let her wear clothes when she leaves the house.
No, apparently it's over the swastikas. That's what finally did it.
Everybody's got their line to cross.
It was the swastikas.
Yeah.
You know this, Ron. I bet you pennies to dollars, pennies to donuts. I bet you all of Steven's money that he doesn't have yet. That reason why she left him is not the swastikas; it's the contracts that he lost, and there's not going to be any money coming in because she only married that crazy fuck for the money. Why else would you marry somebody that fucking demented and that crazy if not for the money? She's saying
you're poor? You're not rich. Yeah, that's definitely it. There's no fucking question about it. That's right. You don't even have to fact check it. You can just trust that. It's the money. He doesn't have the money. What else?
Yeah, I don't know that it's true. I don't know if that's, but in my heart, that's the truth.
Here's the thing: when you're crazy and rich, you're a genius. When you're just crazy, you're a fucking crazy person, and nobody.
No, when you're crazy and rich, you're eccentric. You're not. You're eccentric when you're crazy and rich. You're eccentric. When you're artistic and rich, you're a genius.
Yeah, they got the money to keep themselves off the street. That's why.
On the other weird rap guy or pop star thing in the news, R. Kelly. Now, sex trafficking, I understand. He's in jail for sex trafficking, but they said racketeering. The way I define racketeering is for some RICO stuff, but
which state? Which state? Because each state has their own kind of version of racketeering.
I just want to. That question is, what was he doing that qualifies as racketeering? Because generally, when
what is racketeering exactly?
It depends on the state you're in. That's what I'm saying. Different states have like slightly different things for. That's why Trump could be charged with racketeering in Georgia. But not RICO. Well, they're the RICO Act in Georgia.
Right. You know what? Where racketeering first came from?
Tennis.
This is probably a boring story. Thank you.
It's tennis.
When the Irish immigrants ran the mob in New York, they used to have parties, and the parties were called rackets. And that there was, gambling going on. There was all sorts of illegal activity going on, and that's where the word rackets came from. They were just loud parties that were getting raided, and then somehow rackets became associated with the mob. Oh, you're part of the rackets.
So I guess this would make sense. I looked up the definition. A pattern of illegal activity often organized that's carried out to make money. It can involve extortion, bribery, threats, violence, and other crimes. So if it was human trafficking, it was that to make money, probably.
So
and if he was threatening people to keep quiet about it, that could also, it's like by that thing, by that definition, but like I said, but different states are going to have like different tweets to it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So 30 years for sex trafficking and racketeering. I don't know. He probably won't survive that 30 years anyway, right? No, how could you? You're in there I think if you're in there for sex crimes, you're going to be made.
He was what, 50 when he went in?
Yeah.
So no. Yeah, when he does come out, he'll be 80 years old. He'll be
does he have to do the whole 30, or can he get like a year off of good behavior? Like maybe do 29 or 28.
Oh, that would be good. 79 and still I don't know how old he is.
Still in my 70s, yeah. Snappity.
So I'm going to celebrate by snatching up some woman and dragging her across state lines.
Snappity.
Do me a favor, talk amongst yourselves while I'm going to contact Kenneth Cruz's publicist, who basically made sure that today he was definitely on today. She wanted to confirm and all this stuff, and then he doesn't show up. This gives me a little more I don't know.
Well, he's disabled. Maybe that's a problem.
That's not an excuse. I'm here.
Yeah, but we don't know what his disability is. Is it he can't tell time? What's his disability?
He doesn't have a disability. Who said he had a disability?
And the thing it did.
Huh? Go ahead, talk amongst yourselves. I got to yell at her.
Oh, okay. So,
well, compelling. compelling conversation.
Ron, is this week's Mr. Tongue? Is this one of the bucket ones, or is this just a standard show? Standard showcase.
Just standard. But here's something we can talk about.
Okay.
This is this is from Reddit, and where the fuck did you go? So this is Mark Anderson, Billionaire Project 2025 architect, known on Epstein Island as the human butt plug.
Wow, is that real? I mean, I think it's Andreessen, right? Not Anderson.
Yeah, Andreessen or whatever. The human butt plug.
Yeah, this guy is he's one of these guys who he is he believes in capitalism as not just a financial model, but as a government model. Like the government should be capitalist people, and he believes in fraud. He was one of these guys who was all for the elimination of the consumer fraud protection stuff that banks that Warren instituted, and he was spreading lies about how its complete function was to debank people. No, it was to protect consumers from fraud, from banks, predatory lenders, and all that kind of stuff. He's a very, very evil fuck. There's a whole cabal of these evil fucking capitalists, which give capitalism a really, really fucking bad name, and that's why we need regulations and stuff. But so yeah, it is what it is. I feel helpless at this point.
To answer your question, Matt, where I got the fact that where I got disabled from, I put it in the chat. I cut and pasted out of the middle of the thing you put about him.
Now, as a disabled author, I channel my experiences into crafting stories that resonate with readers. His picture didn't look very disabled.
That's what I'm saying. What's his disability? If it's disability that he can't tell time, that could be it. That's why he's late.
Yeah, I didn't even see. Well, I'm looking at it. I don't see the disability stuff in here.
It's like this.
I should read the stuff I cut and paste once in a while, I guess.
Yeah,
fuck it.
Are you a retard?
Come on. Well, it's all subjective. By the way, speaking of music, GD gets his stuff wrong with retard all the time. He said, "Well, that's a musical term." No, in music, it's RITAR.
I know the difference. I have to say it. Otherwise, this thing doesn't work.
Yeah.
And you know what? Because of him, this is why they want to take Medicaid away. Just they never want to show up on time. People that are disabled never want to show up on time.
I thought it was about
early
or giving you a Spanish fly coffee or something. This book that he wrote, Whipped, where you
it's about some poor barista girl, Hispanic barista girl named Ashley.
Aren't you tired of hearing these wheelchair-bound people not being able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps? Come on.
Totally.
Yes.
I don't want to say that. Then now I'm a disabled bigot, right? If I say that most of the and I can't blame them. I would be, but most of the people I've known who have been paraplegics or completely disabled are really fucking perverted. I mean, they love porn all day long, and but again, I probably would be too. I mean, what else is there to do but fucking?
I have a condition where if I eat too much sugar, I become a racist. It's called diabetes.
You know what would be really good
and I'm going like I get too much sugar, like fucking nigger, you know, just. No, it feels like too much
His
sugar.
hands were soft and supple.
It's soft and his dick was hard as a rock, though.
It's called diabetes.
But it would be fun to find like a diabetic Coke freak and make them snort like a line of sugar, and they and then see how it goes. That would be fun, right?
That's terrible.
You know, now in some movies, when they get people to snort cocaine, they're actually snorting powdered milk.
Powdered milk.
Yeah, drop powdered milk when they now my thing is if you're lactose intolerant, I think snorting that is worse than snorting cocaine.
Yeah, probably.
You're lactose intolerant. It's like, whoa, fuck, he's dying. I think he's out to get an EpiPen. Like,
cocaine, he won't sleep. Cocaine doesn't sleep for 4 days, but he does a line of milk and he's in the bathroom for 2 days, shitting his brains out. He can't sleep. He can't eat anything.
Well, back in the day, they used to cut it with baby laxative. Now she's just asking if is everything okay. No, everything is not okay. He's not here. I'm sorry.
You just say he's not here, and I'm tired of talking to the three guests, my three co-hosts, because we're running out of shit to say.
Right. Are you guys familiar with Vinny Vanilli? Not Milli Vanilli. Vinny Vanilli.
I don't know either one.
You should, because I asked you to get in contact with him last night and showed you his Facebook page, and you don't know him. You don't know who I'm talking about.
I know. I'm pretty sure I said
I can't tell you how hard I am.
You asked if I knew him. I don't know him yet because he hasn't accepted my friend request yet.
Anyway, he used to be on the show, and then he's from Canada. He's a Canadian comedian. Can you say that, Canadian comedian? Say that 3 times fast.
Canadian comedian.
You can't say it.
He was in New York for the first time and doing man on the street interviews. And then I guess when GD came on, GD scared away a lot of people. Robert Taylor, Vinny Vanilli, Lori hilariously, whatever. Scared away a lot of people that used to be on the program.
I didn't scare off Willie.
No, I scared off Willie. Oh no, Willie scared off himself, or I don't know what exactly happened. He lost his power cord. I told him not to come back on until he could get his text straightened out, and then he decided he would never come back on again.
Well, he never got it straightened out. To this day, he's trying to figure it out. He's trying to sing his way to a power cord.
Right. So, I'll come back to that. I want to ask some, because you guys probably know, because I think he's got me blocked or whatever, but I don't see him, and I'm fine with that. But Vinny now wants to come. He's from Canada, as I mentioned, and he's talking about how the Canadians are not happy with the United States. They've kind of, and even his
why would they be? I mean, at this point in time,
well, because a lot of them were not.
Well, yeah, I mean, there is that streak, but I mean, they've been our friendly neighbor forever. And then all of a sudden, it's like we're just going to be fucking dicks.
Yeah, but a lot of them were Trump.
We're the downstairs neighbor that brought roaches into their apartment building.
Yeah, a lot of them were Trump people, though, and so even though Trump can hurt, like the people in America who Trump fucking hurts, even though they're still wearing their red hats, and so that's why they.
That's because they have to admit, if for them to in order for them to take off the red hats, they have to admit that not only were they wrong, but they were duped. It is so hard for people who are in a cult to admit that they were wrong.
Right. No, I get it. But that's why they wouldn't. If you're a conservative in Canada, I'm surprised that they are angry, because I would think, oh yeah, that's a good idea. If Trump says it's a good idea, it must be a good idea. Now, some of them are saying we don't want to be the 51st state. There's 11 provinces or 17 provinces or whatever, and so it should be like 68 states now or whatever they're fucking saying. It doesn't. But so Vinny wants to do a man on the street thing. The angry Canadian from the man on the street from the 51st state type of and contribute to the program. And I asked him could I just don't have the time for this stuff. Coordinate this with GD, and then I thought, well, GD is the reason he ran away in the first place. Maybe I should ask Steven to get on it. So that's why I asked Steven to kind of coordinate it. GD had he had a thing with scaring people away. I don't know. Brought GD on, and all the contributors just bailed. Hey, we can't deal with that guy. It was hard enough dealing with Matt. Now we got to deal with Matt and this other guy. No, we're out of here. So
today is a birthday. YouTube is 20 years old today.
Wow.
Hey.
And Jackie Martling is 77. So what does that mean?
Do you want to see the first ever YouTube video?
I would love to see the very first
let's see it.
video.
It's a 19-second video. There we go. And
Quick for the white kid. Should have been Michael Jackson.
All right, so here we are, one of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really, really, really long trunks, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
How many views does it have?
Over 20 years.
Yeah, let's see. The views on it. It has 348 million views.
Wow.
And that's what's crazy is that's not even the most viewed video on YouTube, but it is the oldest.
Well, here's
and that is that video was posted because the co-founders Steve Chen, Chad Hurley, and Jawad Karam struggled to attract users, so they created YouTube's first video themselves.
Yeah. Before YouTube, people used to have access to their own video server, because if you put like an MPEG or something, or what they had another app, I forget what it was, but 'cause there was lots of stuff. It started with like postage stamp like videos where it was really pixelated and stuff. But you had to have server space or a powerful server that would be able to serve it, and it was always choppy and all that kind of stuff. Part of my business at the time was providing video services to Askame and other video servers stuff to people who wanted to put video, and then YouTube came along and killed my fucking business completely. And then but my channel was started, I had the birthday of it just last week, 18 years so I resisted it for 2 years and then finally joined on it. But my first video is like, it's as bad as that one.
Well, back in the day, I had this old Amiga, and I actually had like a sampler for it. And so how the sampler worked is you like take your VCR or whatever, and with your RCA cables, plug it right into the VCR and right into the sampler. Yeah, that's how you sampled.
Yeah, yeah.
You guys still have your first YouTube videos?
My first YouTube video is still on my channel. Yeah,
I have I don't have access to the account anymore, but my first YouTube video is still on YouTube.
Mine is too.
Well, mine is, but it's in a different, because I've had to. When I didn't know I had 3 YouTube accounts. Well, 2 at the time. I didn't know I had 2 YouTube accounts at the beginning because I had 2 email addresses, and so I had no idea that when I tried to combine everything into one place, I lost all my views and everything. So I had to start over again. But I still have my first video. It's still uploaded on there, but I lost like the 10 viewers that I had before, so now it's up to like 11 again.
My first video was 16 years ago. It has 686 views.
I'm going to share my first video ever right here. Here it is. I won't play the whole thing, just a.
There's no such thing as a jackalope.
That was your first one?
Yes.
Because you played that on the Reverend show.
Right.
Nobody comes to see it. Not even your mom.
I'll be done.
Matt, if I send you mine, will you play it?
Yeah. Let me stop sharing this and turn this off.
I'll send it to you on Facebook.
Yeah, so there was a guy who had a band called Jackalope Junction, and we were in Yahoo music groups, and this guy he hated the fact that I created Hank Porter, because he figured, oh, you're just a fraud. Like, no, this is fucking performance art, dude. It's a character. But he was upset that I was taking advantage of people, ripping them off by telling them Hank Porter was a real person.
Yeah, well, have some artist integrity, Matt. That's all we're telling you.
All right, I sent it to you, Matt.
The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
Well, I sent it to you on Facebook. Is there an easier way to send it to you?
What a fucking gay way to send it to me.
No, what you're supposed to do is just put it on an SD card and tape it to another card and mail it to him.
Tape it to a fucking card, and then by next week, sometime I should.
That's how you send them videos. Just tape it to an SD card and mail it to him.
Wait, did you say next week you'd have that?
Yeah, well, that's how long it took me to get the fucking card off the SD card off the card that GD taped it to with invisible tape, and I can't find where the edge starts. And I was like fucking losing my mind. And then finally, after an hour of doing that, the card did fall on the floor, and now I'm crawling around on the floor looking for a little card. Childproof.
That's why I taped it, so if you dropped it, you would find it quicker.
I finally got it off the card, and then it dropped it on the floor. So yeah,
I just thought you were smarter than that. I thought you could have figured it out sooner.
I couldn't find the steam on the tape. Fucking, it was not fun. Let's look at Steven's very first video. We'll play a few seconds of it, and then we'll bash it like why this video sucks. Who are these garbage?
Oh, it was horrible.
Now, does it say it's your first one, or do you just know it's your first one?
I just know it was my first one.
Oh, okay.
All right. I see it's pretty black to start off with.
Wow.
Metal. The metal head.
Look at my brother's hair and his tight pants. You might want to mute the music.
Which one of those guys is you?
Neither. Horrible.
All right. Oh, that's you, right?
Yeah, I rode into traffic.
Here comes a bus. No bus. All right, that's enough of that fucking nonsense.
Stupid. There was a video I made right after that with a bunch of random shit, and you could tell how I had Ron Kane mentality at like 15.
Right.
Oh, my first video on YouTube was actually my first comedy set.
So yeah, I've been on there 18 years. I've been monetized for about 16 years, and I would say I don't know what exactly. Oh, she sent him the wrong link. She sent him Ken Peters' link. So, all right. Well, all right. Sorry. I think that sum total of what I've made over 16 years of monetization on YouTube, probably under $10,000. Well, probably way under. Maybe like $5,000 even tops. My biggest paycheck ever was like $880 for 1 month. That's the biggest I've ever gotten. But some of them, like $100, is not uncommon for a month of content. It's not. It's a big. So when I hear people saying, like, I think earlier in the week we had somebody, one of the comedians talking about. Oh, it was Tim Myers, Tom Myers, Tim Myers, Tim. Talking about getting monetized on YouTube. Like, that shouldn't really be a goal. I mean, it's like your goal is to become 1,000 times below minimum wage worker because of all the time you put in to creating something to get paid at the end of a month $2 for it. You put in like.
Are you saying there's no money in entertainment?
Well, I mean, there's really like a handful of like real YouTube shows that make real money, like Good Mythical Morning. But they look how much content they have to put out and the kind of quality they have to put out to maintain that. Like, they have a whole studio, they have multiple channels. all the
they made
merch.
the investment. They invested in the infrastructure, kind of like with Segura with your mom's house.
Yeah.
They built a TV station essentially.
Right, but no, I wasn't saying there's no money in entertainment, but in YouTube, I listen. You can make money in YouTube. You absolutely can, and I think there's far more than a handful. There are probably a few thousand channels that actually make good money on YouTube. But to have that as a goal, if that's what monetization as a goal is kind of you're asking for work. Lots of work bringing you have to commit yourself to it. That's what you have to be committed to making money on YouTube and forget about entertainment. Your job now is a YouTuber and how to get more views, how to get more subscribers and all that stuff. And you have to think about it 24/7. That's the only way it's gonna you can't think, oh, I'm gonna get monetized and then all of a sudden I'm gonna get money coming in while I sleep. No, you're gonna get literally $2 a month. And you have to hit a certain threshold before they send you a check. So if you're making $2 a month, you're going to be 50 months before you get your first check.
Well, while when the economy crashes this year, and as things continue to get worse, I think everyone's going to have an OnlyFans instead of a podcast. It'd be like, "What's your OnlyFans?"
Well, people started jumping on Patreon too, but and then again, people had to realize people have to want to pay for your content, and you might get somebody who will sign up for a membership for 1 month for the $5 or whatever you set them the bottom line. But if you're not delivering content that they want, they're going to bail on that after the first month and cancel it. And anyway, and so a lot of people found out, that's harder than YouTube. Yeah, I got my $5 from 3 guys. That 1 month I made $15, but after that I fucking didn't make a penny.
Yeah. And that's what gets people discouraged because they start it and they'll start post a video and they'll get maybe a few views, maybe 100. Then they keep doing that for a bit and it's still nothing.
Right.
Yeah. And that's part of the problem. Everyone has in the back of their mind, like, oh, if I just get on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube, I can make all this money.
Yeah. The idea of making passive income, money while you sleep, is a very tempting lure. But you find out pretty quickly that it's kind of like it's fool's gold. There ain't no gold in them there hills. It's a lot of work. Even if you do make a success of it, it's going to require a lot of work. There's no such thing as fucking getting rich while you sleep until you become Mr. Beast.
One of my favorite YouTubers who has almost 20 million subscribers. He gets, 10 to 20 million views a video. He still has to put in 60 hours a week minimum to produce a 30, 45-minute video. And that requires him, going out and doing the camping, the survival camping, all of that shit, and then recording it, editing it, and putting it out. And he's had to cut back because of how much time he was putting into it. So I could only imagine.
Yeah, it all takes
what it takes.
It all takes time. I mean, if you have a podcast and if you want to at least edit it somewhat, so it's not completely terrible, kind of like what I do. That takes time. Fucking everything takes time. Even sometimes, like doing one of these reels, sometimes you can spend. Even just like a really basic one, you can spend 10 to 15 minutes, maybe longer, depending on what you're trying to do.
Even using AI, I use AI to create the voiceovers for the reels, but I generally scrap all the video content and go out and get real video content of the real bands doing it. Because every time AI does it, they'll use stock footage, and it's not the band. So if it's a band, let's just say Crack the Sky. I'm doing a Crack the Sky reel. And then they will show me G.D. Fenderson. They'll show me Stephen Ortiz in the middle of a highway on a wheelchair popping wheelies or whatever. That doesn't fit the narrative here. I got to go out and get their real footage. So it's a good half-hour investment.
Yeah, well, I'm going to start doing more AI stuff because I'm somewhat close to 3 Mile Island, and they're talking about starting that back up. So I'm just going to run a super long extension cord from TMI to my house.
Maryland's about to reopen up one of their, I don't think they've ever closed it. We have a nuclear reactor, nuclear power plant that I don't
All
think
right.
I ever knew existed.
A Russian drone struck the new safe confinement in the Chernobyl nuclear power plant overnight, causing fire, but no reported casualties. Radiation levels remain normal, according to the International Atomic Energy Agency. Speaking of nuclear disasters, Ukrainian President Zelensky condemned the attack, highlighting the international cooperation that went into building the shelter. That's weird. Russia attacked their own nuclear power plant.
Well, I think Chernobyl isn't that actually in Ukraine?
I don't know. That's a good question. I didn't know that. Oh, so that would make sense, then. All right.
God's coming for you.
So when the Chernobyl disaster happened, that was part of the Soviet Union, but it's actually located in Ukraine.
Right.
Okay, I learned something here. Thank you for that information.
And the reason why I think, because
that would make sense. Yeah. Go ahead.
Right, Ukraine's Chernobyl nuclear plant. Yeah.
All right.
Because I was in a cancer ward, and I was talking to this one lady, and she was actually the first Chernobyl, the Chernobyl meltdown that they denied. She was there, and the cancer she got was from Chernobyl.
Yeah.
And so I was talking to her about that. A
lot of glowing people coming out.
They discovered some cool stuff at Chernobyl after that meltdown. Like they've discovered a fungus that eats radioactive material. They found animals who have developed weird things and who have adapted and they're like full of radiation but no sickness. It's crazy.
Well, this brings up the age-old question. Well, age-old. That thing, the radiation-eating fungus, did that exist before, or did it evolve because of food source?
That's what they're trying to figure out. They don't know if this is something that exists generally, or if this is something that maybe started growing and then decided, oh, I can eat this, and so they're trying to figure that out because they can't get in there and study very long because it's still highly radioactive.
My pot dealer during the 70s, a guy named Joe Hergenhand, used to talk about the ability for humans to adapt. And he was talking about it in terms of nuclear power and radiation and all that. And he said there was no, his premise was there was no real threat of human extinction because of nuclear power, radiation poisoning, and all this stuff, that humans would adapt and change accordingly if we started poisoning ourselves with all sorts of radiation and all that.
Yeah, we would adapt. We would adapt and become sterile and die out. John, just my heart had nothing to do with the cancer ward. If I remember correctly, I was there for my brain. I wasn't there. I just didn't want to make it about me. I'm sorry. I apologize if I misled you to think that I was visiting a cancer ward for altruist reasons.
GD would never go visit sick people.
I play in cancer wards all the time, and I have no heart. I have no fucking heart whatsoever. So that doesn't. I'm constantly performing for cancer patients. We'll be doing so a couple of days next week, but that doesn't mean I have a heart. It just means because honestly, it's a very selfish thing on my part. I walk away so I can make myself feel good about that I did something worthwhile for that day. So,
I'm sorry, because you're black.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I apologize, John. I didn't mean to mislead people. I just didn't want to talk about why I went to a cancer ward. I wasn't.
Brain cancer. I had a very good friend, Jeff Phillips, who was a bass player who played with me as a sub with the 45s for a lot of years, played with my band. He got brain cancer, and he called me up, and we were on the phone for a good 2 hours, and he was telling me about how, because they cut the tumor out of his brain, and he had this like come to Jesus moment where he found clarity, and he understood the world much better, and he found peace and all this stuff, and he thought he was at that time the prognosis was he was going to survive, and he just was thinking so much more clearly. And 3 days later, his girlfriend said he's dead. So I think there is this thing that goes on with brain cancer patients where they often have these kind of moments when they're getting treatment. It makes you feel like you found Jesus, right? It makes you feel like you.
My grandmother is currently in hospice. Last week, we thought it was over. Like she was like dying, just like laying there. She's out of it. She's on morphine, and now she's back to almost not normal, but she's like up. She's like laughing. She's telling jokes. She's like her normal self. It's so fucking bizarre.
Yeah. It's a curse to be born into a family that is very good at prolonging death and cancer. Like all of the people who've got, and I've mentioned my ex-brother, but everybody in my family who gets cancer, they don't die quickly. They ride it out for years and years. My mother was supposed to die back in like the early mid 80s, and she lasted until 2015 with the same cancer. My ex-brother has had the same cancer for 40 years now, battling it. But that's not a good thing, because it's not a good life.
When in 2015 did your mother die? My mother died in 2015.
It was December 4th, 2015.
Oh, we're not brothers then. Okay, I was just checking. See if
I think I killed your mother, by the way.
Oh my God!
I was mad at her for you. That was it. I was like, how dare you have that child?
My mother died on New Year's Day, January 15th. And I mean, years when we were growing up, my mother said,
you just said New Year's. You just said New Year's Day, January 15th.
I'm sorry, 2015.
Okay, I was confused.
When we were growing up, my mother used to say, if people are terminally ill and they're sick for a long time, usually they will die. She says, if they have any say over it, they will either choose to die before the holiday, on the holiday, or after the holiday. In other words, if they don't want to ruin the holiday for you, they're not going to die on the holiday. Like my mother's favorite holiday was New Year's Eve, and it was almost like my mother was hanging on. My mother was hanging on a thread just for like one more New Year's Eve, and then 4 o'clock in the morning the next day she was gone.
It's going to ruin it no matter what, because it's still like, if it's close enough to the holiday, it's just going to, every time that time of year comes up, people are going to, it's like, why I don't get.
Well, I'm just saying to people, I'm not saying that people aren't stupid. I'm just saying that according to my mother, my mother says, if they're trying not to ruin your holiday, they'll wait till after the holiday. They know they're going and it's close. But if they don't give a shit, it's like, okay, I'm going to die on his birthday. I'm going to fuck up his birthday for the rest of his life.
Yeah, my mother's case was she was trying not to die on Thanksgiving, and then she was going to make lasagna on Thanksgiving, and then she got too sick and went to bed, and it took her 2 weeks to die in bed. She died, basically laid down on Thanksgiving Day, and it took till December 4th to actually die. So,
and see, I thought my mother was going to die right after Thanksgiving in 2014. And as a matter of fact, because when the family said, okay, she doesn't have long, and we don't know what she's holding on for. And I said, she's holding on for the day after Thanksgiving. She wants us all to get together one more time for Thanksgiving. I said, because Mom said that she's always, that she's not going to ruin the holiday. She's going to wait till after the holiday. I didn't realize that Thanksgiving wasn't the holiday. It was next, and it wasn't Christmas. It was New Year's. And her New Year's Eve was her favorite holiday.
I would have guessed Black Friday.
No, it wasn't that either. I was shocked. Well, I knew that wasn't her favorite holiday, but I did know that New Year's Eve was her favorite holiday, but I didn't think she was going to make it that long. I thought she was just trying to get us together one more Thanksgiving.
I thought she was just waiting to see one more Rose Bowl parade.
I
hate Illinois Nazis.
Yeah. Whoa, I heard Nazis. I hate Illinois Nazis.
This shows you how how long it's been since I gave a fuck about college football. Is the Rose Bowl still considered? It's not the college.
Well, I got a question quick. If you're a fan of EDM and you're in hospice, when anyone walks in the room where you're dying, do they go, drop the beat?
No.
That was horrible.
I think it'd be funny to see, though. Drop the beat.
EDM, electronic dance music. I always thought the E stood for emotional or something. Because
you know how much happier my grandmother would be if there was a DJ spinning in the corner.
It's kind of like my mother spinning in her grave.
I'm just trying to figure the math here. Your parents must have had children very young. Your grandmother had to have children very young, and your parents had to have you pretty young in order for you to have a grandmother still kicking it. My grandmother died of old age. She was almost 100 when I was 5 years old.
My grandparents are your age, Matt.
That's just weird.
I hate.
Yeah, my grandma Becky, she's 67. My other grandpa is 65. And my other grandma is 63.
But Ron is 40 years older than you.
I think he's only 10 years older than me.
Same thing.
Welcome to Minucci's.
In comedy years.
I don't know.
In comedy years.
Ron, how old are you?
I'm 50.
See?
Okay, never mind.
40 years older than
He's 26 years older than me. Wow. 16 years. Sorry, 16 years. I'm not good at math. It's still too early.
The whole generation is not good at math.
No, my generation was told. My generation was lied to by our math teachers and told you won't have a calculator everywhere. You better learn this.
Oh, well, in England, they have removed all the analog clocks now. All the clocks are digital in classrooms because kids don't know how to tell time.
Yeah. I have to respond to this email. Talk among yourselves about England not having.
One of the arguments my first wife and I had was, she didn't think that her daughter, my stepdaughter, could tell time, with an analog clock, and because she used to do stuff, she would pretend she didn't know it was time to go to bed or stuff because she would pretend she couldn't tell time. And I told her, I said, no, she knows how to tell time. She said, no, she only knows how to tell time off a digital clock. I said, I will prove to you that she can tell time with an analog clock. And we'd be in the basement, and I said, Danielle, if you don't eat your snack before 7:30, that's it. You're just going to go to bed without a snack. And at 7:25, she'd go, it's 7:25. Can I get my snack now? So she could tell time. She just didn't want her mother to know that she could tell time.
Or maybe she was just counting seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
No, she was not that good.
Oh
my fucking god!
I haven't heard from that guy in a while. He's been shy.
Oh.
He's been shy like me at a nudist camp. I'm not going to read any of these fucking comments. It's exhausting. You're exhausting. I'm sorry, Mr. B. You're exhausting me.
When we were at the nudist beach, we were teenagers. I think I was 17. I just graduated from high school. And one of the guys with us was 14 or 15 years old, and we were in California, and we were on a nude beach, and we were just chilling. And George is the one of the stories about. He was just sunning himself like this, laying back, face up, and this woman is jogging, and she stops. Well, she's not looking where she's jogging, and she stops to read this airplane that has a banner flying behind the airplane, and she stops. Spread eagle right over top of him, and she's just watching the plane go by. He gets an erection and he can't control it, and so he rolls over on his stomach and buries it in the sand and trying to wait for the erection to go away. And he falls asleep like that, and he got sunburned from the back of his head all the way to the soles of his feet.
God's coming for you.
Coming to you. When I was in college, we used to because we were hard up for money. The art classes would pay you $5 to pose for new drawings, new classes that we're doing, and $5, and it could take 2 or 3 hours sometimes. And you're sitting there on a fucking stool, butt naked for $5. That's how hard up for money we were. And I did it, huh?
I didn't know you could get paid for that. I was just asked to do it, and I did it. I didn't know there was money involved.
Well, maybe whatever school you go to. My school paid $5 for the sit on the stool, but I did it once.
Petey's uncle used to ask him to do it. That was different.
And I got a hard on. I got a hard on while fucking sitting there because the class was like mostly women, and some of them were attractive, and they were looking at me, and they're like, they're coming around your dick and like getting like scale and stuff, and it was arousing to me as an 18-year-old kid. So I got a hard on, and then and then they started giggling like because they could see it was the scale was changing.
It was a gorge.
Did they say something like, "Isn't that cute little thing?"
You're a grower, not a shower. Look at you.
I remember very distinctly a girl in the front row said, "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" And then I looked down and there was pre-cum on my cock. But it was an analog. It was an analog cock. That's how old I am. It was an analog cock.
You know, I'm sitting here reading some of this YouTube stuff, and it's got like statistics. There's this other article about stats of YouTube, and it's the people. There's 1 billion hours watched a day on people's televisions on YouTube.
Right.
We
are more
from their TV.
People watch this show on actual televisions than on on like an internet device, which is surprising to me. Like what?
Yeah, they have 2.5 billion monthly users.
Wow.
Almost one in three people on Earth. And the average mobile app user watches something like 29 hours a month.
Yeah, I should break out the surprising stats about what we do and where people are watching. Because although most of it obviously is the United States and English-speaking countries, it always surprises me. Like in Kenya, last month we got 100 people watching. Like in Kenya, what are they getting out of us talking stupid shit here in Kenya? Do they even get any? Huh?
Hair tips for me.
Hair tip. I mean, for all the shit we talk about, they don't care about stand. They probably don't even know like the stand-up comedy people we talk about. They don't know the music we talk about. They certainly probably don't care about
the music.
politics.
They could know, I mean, music.
Music's possible.
I'm not saying the guests like we have on the independent music artists from Pittsburgh. They don't know them.
If they're on Spotify, couldn't they? You know, let's put because there was like the reason I'm saying this because one of my nephews was living in Somaliland, and he used to send me YouTube clips of local artists, and there was like one particular lady that was like really really talented. She was a rapper, and I had no idea what she was saying because she was saying it in whatever the tongue they speak in Somaliland. But she was really good at what she did, and I actually followed her for a while but her name was so unusual I couldn't really remember it, and I couldn't remember how to spell it. So once I lost it, once I redid all my YouTube channels and consolidated, I lost her and I couldn't find her again.
Yeah. So
hey, if anyone's interested, I can give you this article that I'm checking out because it's about YouTube stats and these guys who basically. They created a scraper to collect YouTube data, and it basically did like a drunk dial, checking URLs, and then if the URL was valid, it would download them. And like the first initial test they did, they said if a human did that, it would take them 178 years.
Wow!
Before collecting all the data, just in that first round of 10,000 videos.
Assuming it was a competent human. Like if I did it, it might take 500 years. But
if I did, it would take 20 minutes because I would stop. So like, what the fuck am I doing this for?
Yeah, I'll drop it here in the.
Do it in the regular chat if you can.
That's what I'm doing in the private chat. I'm going to drop it there.
All right, you put it in the private chat. I'll move it over to The regular channel. I think everybody should have access to it. Let's clue everybody into this article. Wow, it's a big URL, isn't it? Holy shit!
Nice URL you got there.
Yeah,
Happy to see me.
Huge. Yeah, you got it.
His hands were soft and supple.
And his
URL, and you just happy to see me.
His URL was long and hard, and so now everybody has it.
Finish inside me.
Oh, and it's on BBC. You know it's big news.
Yep.
And it must be real. Big black cock.
I want to just because earlier I was talking about how the fucking gaslighting and bullshit from the MAGA people is just exhausting. Here, Hannity and Alina Habba. Hannity says the president doesn't take a paycheck. He's losing money. I would argue that almost everyone you see in that White House is not making money. And Habba's reply was, they do, we don't. And the problem I have is there are millions of red hat wearing imbeciles who actually believe that, first of all, that Trump is losing money. Trump is making more money in the White House. It's a fucking money printing machine for him. It's the only reason he's even interested in the presidency. So to say that he's losing money, but there are fucking millions of red hat wearing imbeciles who actually believe that lie, and there's nothing you can do to penetrate that wall of stupidity. And that's the most frustrating thing about all of this stuff is like, when do we come back to? And that's what that preacher who dropped dead was talking about. The deception, the lies. You got to stop believing this stuff. And he was talking about Jesus' sermons. Obviously, he was a pastor, but he's talking about his first warning was to his disciples, where there are people who are going to come to try to deceive you. Since he started with that must be the most important message that Jesus wanted to get. Don't believe in the fucking liars. And here we are. We have cheap viewers trying to sell us shit. Get the fuck out, you fucking cheap viewers selling podcasts, promoting.
Been the best president for the black population.
Right. And I'm also losing money. Yeah. It's just so fucking exhausting how you cannot penetrate the wall of stupidity with all these fucking people. And that's the yeah.
Well, I'm surprised more people weren't talking about Elon's kid basically emasculating Trump. Like, you're not supposed to be here.
Right. And beyond
I wonder where you heard that from. Do you think they talk about that around the house? Like Elon's talking to whoever, if his wife.
I think we said that yesterday. He said it like he definitely heard his dad say it.
And have you heard the subplot online that's gaining traction? People like the scuzzlebutt is that Elon only keeps the kid with him because of what Luigi did to the CEO. They're saying that's the only reason that he has his kid with him.
He wants his kid to get shot
nobody
too?
will shoot him in front of his kid.
Sympathy, yeah. That is alleged, and that is like the rumors.
Has he ever met Al Qaeda or ISIS?
Yeah, I know. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah,
like there's people out there that will they will literally cut you into bite-sized pieces in front of your kids. What are you talking about?
Has he not seen the number of strollers left over? Like yesterday, the guy that ran over the people in Munich. They're like all the stuff left over in the streets, and there's baby strollers too. You know, I'm pretty sure that the baby strollers probably had babies in them when he ran into them. Probably.
Yeah.
Well, I think. Honestly, I just think he has a kid with him because he thinks that plays better.
I think you're probably right about that. But Elon, I know he's too stupid to understand this. The joy of killing you just got enhanced by being able to do it in front of your kid and giggle and say, I just killed your daddy.
And not only that, it's like, hey, kid, do right or this could happen to you.
Yeah. But to Steven's point, he definitely, that kids don't just come out with shit like that. The daddy
is, that's what I said. Somebody's repeating that around the house or somewhere, you know.
Yeah, and it's weird that he does have the kid with him all the time.
Yeah.
So is he just using him as a pawn? Like,
if I had definitely using him.
Yeah, I mean, does this make me
Trying to
look better?
He's trying to humanize himself, is what he's doing.
I don't think.
And Ron, you think
Look
that
at
you
me?
know,
I'm
Ron,
a parent. I'm a dad. I'm just like you guys. I'm looking for
Ron,
the future.
imagine Elon Musk was walking right in front of you. You'd probably want to say something to him like, "You piece of shit cocksucker." But with this kid there, you probably wouldn't say that. You'd probably say, "You piece of feces, you hunk of feces." Cuckle. No, maybe I don't know. Would you say it in front of his kid?
Kumquat.
Will there be another attempt on the CEO in the next 6 months?
I hope so.
Man, I don't know.
And
I hope it's the CEO of Mindbug TV.
I hope it's the CEO of the country.
Oh, Elon Musk?
I can see that. Like, no, I'm the
And his
CEO.
assistant.
I'm the CEO of Minddog TV. And then they probably go, "Oh, I'm sorry," and just walk away.
Living is way worse for you. I'm out.
I just hand the gun to you, buddy. You need this more than I do.
Yeah.
Grip McCartney go like this, like, "Oh shit, here, look, here's my therapist. Call him. Here's my therapist."
You know what? Here's everything in my wallet. Go ahead and get yourself some coffee. Go. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Too soon? No. Get yourself some coffee. I'm sorry, too soon.
Yeah. I have to go call somebody's mother a skank whore on Twitter. I hope you don't mind. It's like something.
Are you going to leave us to do it? Are you going to leave us to do it? Or are you just going to do it?
I could do it right here, but yeah, you talk amongst yourselves while I call somebody.
Oh, you know, speaking of Twitter, Scott Perry followed me yesterday.
Into the men's room? Into the men's room?
No, just on Twitter for right now, but it's it's fabulous.
You're on a list now, boy.
I mean, Andy Harris. I don't think Andy Harris didn't follow me on when I was on Twitter. I used to torch his ass all the time. But his followers used to try to get me back. But then I developed a legion of people who would attack his followers who were attacking me.
Yeah.
I miss not. That's the only thing I miss about Andy Harris not being my congressman now. I can't attack him.
What's funny about that, GD, is you say that, and that's like the Scott Perry people. They've interacted with my comedy page, and so like they give reactions to my comedy stuff. It's like, this is helping me, so I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. See,
yeah, you're on a list. They're watching you.
Yeah, his people weren't kind enough to me to follow me on anywhere else other than Twitter, which I only use to bash Andy Harris.
Well, and like when people, if they respond to me, most of the time they can't say anything about Scott Perry. All they say is like, "You're a failed comedian," and it's like, you got to do better than that if you're gonna hurt me.
Yeah, really, because I'm not just a failed comedian. I am the failed comedian. No.
You be like every other comic. We're all failures.
I'm your favorite comedian's least favorite comedian. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. All right. Now I feel better. I called somebody's mother a skank whore on Twitter.
Whose mother did you call a skank whore?
Somebody named Dirk. Somebody named Dirk. He's a nobody, but his mother was a skank whore. So who else would name their kid Dirk? And she couldn't even spell dirt. She couldn't spell dick or dirt, and she came up with Kirk. Dirk. Dork. Dick. Dirk. Dork. Dick Dorkin. Dirk Dorkin.
Maybe she was a fan of Boogie Nights. Maybe his middle name is Diggler.
Oh my God, you basically did, Matt. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry.
Now swallow my cum like your He ended the tweet with, "Now swallow my cum like your whore mother did."
Your kids look like retards.
To be fair, his mother did spit a little bit of it out, but it was so much. In those days, I was blasting away like.
My cum was better than sex.
Yeah, she did too. She bacon, eggs, and cum is what she ordered every morning.
Bacon, egg, and cum omelet.
fucking Dirk. Dirk, you just got famous on the most watched program in this house.
I just replied to it with a cum gif.
Yeah, I've seen a few stories too that they say that support for Luigi has been growing and growing.
Yeah,
the only thing growing through Luigi is all the lady boners.
He's already got his own show on. Oh damn it! I think it's a maybe Reels TV. It was like, it's called like, Who is Luigi? He's like, who is Luigi? And
I saw a guy. I saw a stand up. It was a clip on Reels, and the dude just goes on stage with like a Mario and Luigi hat, but it was Luigi, and goes, "I'm a Luigi. I killed the CEOs," and everyone was just like, "Come on, man." He goes, "All right, take the head off." Anyways, I was just like, "What the fuck are you doing, dude?" That's the clip you shared. Like, you didn't even get a pity laugh. It's just so bad.
Just the programming. I'm thinking, I don't know. I don't know. The guy who didn't show up yesterday, that was his second time not showing up, and he's asked for one more chance. It's like, you know what? I know 3 strikes you're out, but I'm getting tired of that. Let's change the rule to 2 strikes and you're out.
Okay.
But yeah, now the guy today, his publicist wants to reschedule him. It's just like, come on, man. When are they gonna stop fucking me over and then asking for a second chance? That's I don't know. What is this? I got them coming after me now. So yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe even 1 strike you should be out. No fucking get here on time like you say you're gonna be, and if you fuck up on that, don't ask for another date.
Yeah, if we can be here on time, you can be here on time.
Well, it's a long.
Only half of me walks, and I'm twice as efficient at being on time. Figure it out.
That's right. I have to go from across the hall all the way over here.
They're doing the same thing because they probably roll out of bed and right.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Here.
If GD can convert CPT time to Eastern Standard Time, your time zone has no excuse.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Figure it out. Yeah. Got you, man.
Although today's guest was Latino, so he may be on mañana time.
Well, okay. You're not. Well, CPT kind of just covers all the brown people because my wife definitely lives on CPT as well. So my wife lives on that hardcore. So, I have to be to work at 8. I'm leaving at 7:53. Let's go.
I love the Nate Bugatti thing on that. Like he called his wife, what time do you, I think it was like 12 o'clock. He said, what time your flight at? And she said 12:30. And he's like, if the plane was in our driveway, you wouldn't make it there on time.
Yeah, I usually tell certain people that I have to meet places. I always tell them an earlier time to make sure that like for example, my friend that rode with me to the last gig, I told her, I was like, hey, be to my house by 5:15 so we can leave, knowing she wouldn't be there till 5:30, but that's when we really needed to leave. And guess when she showed up? 5:28. Fucking do it. Yep. Wow. I can convert CPT time in my head now.
Right.
Oh, hey, last night I went to a mic and I apologized to my wife after my set.
Oh, no. What'd you do? Is there a clip? Roll the clip.
It was nothing too harsh. I was just making a comment about the room. I said, well, to brighten this night up, I think I'm just going to go home and, maybe I'll kill myself. And people were like, oh. And I was like, no, I would never do that. I would kill my wife first, then I would kill myself.
Suicide. And if you're going to do a murder, you might as well, if you're going to do suicide, you might as well do a murder first.
Yeah. Those people were like, what the fuck just happened? But I did get some laughs, especially when I said, hey, I'm sorry.
That's all that matters.
Suicide is the get out of jail free card. You can literally go do any crime you want, and if you off yourself, there's no jail time.
No, I did a bit. Well,
we are not endorsing. We're not endorsing on a live yourself, YouTube.
Right.
This is like a longer part of a longer bit, but basically, when my wife and I first got together, she used to say to me, promise me you won't die first, because I don't think I can live without you. That was legit what she used to say to me. And then after a few years, she started talking about, what she would do once I died. So she like evolved. She's like, she's like planning to live without me now. But my thing was that I said, if the doctor said to me that I had 6 months to live, that means my wife has 5.5, because I have to keep my promise. I have to, she made me promise. I never took the promise back. She made me promise that I would not die first, and I'm not taking that promise back.
Well, I would like to make you promise that you will die before me. Could you promise?
I can't make that promise, because my wife has made me promise. She makes me make so many promises. Some of them I can keep. One or two, maybe.
Maybe I could have my lawyer contact her to release you from whatever commitments you've made to live.
He signed an NDA, no dying agreement. He can't.
Fuck.
Yeah, bulletproof.
All right. Well, I guess I'll die right now then. So
my wife had said we were talking politics a couple of days ago. Day before yesterday, we were talking politics, and basically the end of the conversation was her saying to me, I can't bail you out of jail, right? So I'm not going to tell you what the actual conversation was, but let's just say that she talked me out of it, because I said, well, if you can't bail me out of jail, then I can't do it.
I've never had to get bailed. Well, that's not true. I was in a Mexican jail, but not necessarily I got bailed out. My friend's parents bailed all 5 of us out, I guess, through a wire transfer or something. But that's the only time I've ever been in a jail cell that required me getting bailed out of.
Yeah, I've never been arrested.
I've been arrested a few times, but it's never got to the point where I needed bail.
Right.
No, I was put in handcuffs one time, and it pissed me off. So I'm like, dude, just take my crutches. I can't run. Why am I handcuffed back here? You know how uncomfortable this is? And then he fucked up my boots, and it was just a bad day. Then he left me on the side of the road with no phone.
To be fair, the time in Juarez was more of a hostage situation than an official. It was very weird. I mean, they came and held the gringos in. It didn't even look like a cell. It was like a horse stall that we were locked in, and basically he extorted one of the kids to call his parents to get us some money to get out. I'm getting a phone call. I got to answer this. Let's turn on your radio, okay? I got to answer this phone call.
All right, we'll see you Monday.
See ya.
Now.
His hands were soft and supple.
I like omelets better than sex.
Welcome to Minucci's.
Finish inside me.
now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.